It's too large in a Sarge, and normally we have Wine Wednesdays. I don't think we can be trusted, just the two of us, to do a Wine Wednesday just ourselves here. So we'll put that on the back burner for next week. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Tegan.
And normally we have Sam with us, but Sam is busy for the day today. So you are just getting us two lovely ladies to carry us through the next hour of programming.
Just the girls today.
Absolutely. And we're rated R for real life, real people, real topics. You can find us Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.
on Facebook, SoundCloud, or YouTube.
And this works for us pretty well, I think. This is a great hour for us.
Us and our opinionated selves.
Absolutely. And I think it hits home for both of us. We can relate to it, as most of society can now. But our theme for today is going to be body modification. We'll talk about everything from tattoos through, maybe we'll even touch on plastic surgery and everything in between there. And the reason why we wanted to talk about this today is we had run across an article about a woman that was having some problems after getting a body modification done.
And this is a crazy one for me, because I have a lot of tattoos. I have 22 tattoos. So, and I'm not done, but I've got a child that I have to, that money isn't readily available anymore. So those come in moderation. But this lady, and she's actually a Canadian model. She went and got her eyeball tattooed purple.
Okay. What kind of model is she?
Well, it just says Canadian model.
I hate that when they're that vague. Obviously, she can't be a Victoria's Secrets model.
Clearly
with a purple eye.
But she went, and she was already a fan, apparently, of extreme body modification. And someone offered her to stain her eyeball by injecting ink into the white part of her eye. The procedure is actually called, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right or not, sclera, SCLERA staining.
Okay.
But it can result in a startling visual effect that has gained popularity recently among those who like altering their bodies, obviously in unconventional ways. So she agreed and chose purple, which is her favorite color. Okay. But on the day of the procedure, something went horribly wrong.
Oh, sorry. That's not.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine you get your eyeball tattooed.
Tattoo my eyeball.
What could go wrong there?
So the purple ink actually oozed out of her eye and trickled down her cheek. Ooh. And there's actually pictures. The next day, the eye was swollen shut and eventually became painfully infected. You're injecting your eye with a foreign... Right. I mean, my gosh, you get a freaking eyelash in your eye and your eye goes nuts. So 3 weeks later, which I'm not sure why she waited 3 weeks, the internal swelling remained, and doctors told her she was at risk of going permanently blind in the affected eye. So she began posting public Facebook updates about her eye to warn others against the procedure, which,
sure. No, I get it.
That's good. And she said by then she had visited the hospital several times and had been prescribed a slew of antibiotic and steroidal eye drops to reduce inflammation, and her vision in that eye had blurred and showed no signs of improving. Once again, big surprise. And actually there are other people that can attest that the aftercare was good, and she's not trying to share this apparently to cause trouble. She's just trying to share this to warn people to research who they get their procedures done, which is normal. Like any tattoo, you don't just go to anybody for a tattoo.
Right.
And we might have all gone to some sketchy people for at least one or two tattoos.
Let's not talk about our first tattoos. Yeah, that happens.
But I mean, she's continued to post on Facebook updates, and she's repeatedly saying that she's just trying to warn people. And the pain apparently sits along in her socket and behind the eye, and she's been waking up with less sight each day.
Well, of course.
And apparently, let's see. I'm trying to see further down. What's happening. I think it's just kind of still
probably all pussy and goopy and watery,
and she's supposed to go undergo surgery to remove excess ink. If I had to guess her, she's probably going to lose sight in that eye.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
she had a really cool patch. Could bedazzle or bejewel it or whatever, It'd be cool.
But I mean, most of November she's gone through all sorts of things.
Are you all right?
Oh, and of course, wait. She started a GoFundMe page to raise money to cover the cost of her medications and transportation to her medical appointments.
No.
So bad.
No. Look.
Jeez.
There are certain things that you have to undergo surgically or have done processes to your body or inside of your body, that you can't help. You can't choose, People get surgeries done every day. People have to
Yeah.
get certain things done out of necessity.
So on the GoFundMe page, it actually says, I know many people do not understand the choice to get the tattoo, but the past is done and the facts are clear, and Gallagher, which is her last name, has been victimized. Seriously?
You don't get
She's
money
not
from
a
that.
victim. No.
No, you don't
She's
Pasco.
not a
You do
victim.
not
She
collect
did it to
$200.
herself.
She did it.
Ugh.
If she was a woman that had a surgical procedure done, the surgical procedure that she needed done for health reasons went bad, and now she needs funding to have good people correct it for her, 100% I'm aboard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm okay with somebody that, say they had to get their tonsils out or gallbladder surgery. Something went bad with that, and there was an adverse effect because of it. And they needed to get additional funding to correct whatever issues they had. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Go fund me all day long. But that would be like me and you. You and I, you're a pierced and tattooed woman. I'm a tattooed woman, okay?
I only have my ears pierced, by the way. There's no other parts of my body. Oh, no, my nose is pierced.
What the heck are you saying? I'm looking right at it, hanging out of your nose.
Hanging off my face. Sorry, my nose is pierced too.
It couldn't be any clearer on your face.
No, but other than
Listen, even if you did,
Above
I'm
the
not
neck.
asking. I'm not asking. I don't want to know what you do behind closed doors or
not that. No, I'm not that freaky.
underneath pulled up pants. I don't want to.
No.
But we've opted to get those things done. We've opted to make alterations to our body that could cause serious reactions to our body.
Absolutely.
Knowingly and willingly
Paid money.
paid money to get our skin scratched with a needle. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me
No.
if I have an effect from something that I paid for.
Right.
To have done to alter my appearance. That's where you choose wisely, like you said before, on where you go and who you go to. And, if you're walking in there and you see that he just got done eating a ham sandwich and there's ham juice running down his arm and he's picking up a needle tattooing your arm,
no.
you probably don't want to do that. If he picks his nose without gloves on.
Common sense should kick in and you say, no.
Yeah. I mean, just make educated decisions. But even with that said, the last tattoo that I had, I struggled with, that I got, believe it or not, I got it, I've got a tattoo in my inner arm, and I had some issues with that healing. There's two problems with it. I don't believe that the guy did it intentionally. It was a smaller tattoo, and it was a thin, long tattoo I got. And some of the areas that he tried to shade, he went in with the needle a little too deep. So they took a little longer to heal, and because of the way it had to heal and things like that, I lost a little bit of color out of it. But and where it's located, since it's on the inside of the arm, it is tough because it rubs up against the side of your body, and that continuous rubbing, even with a Band-Aid on, can cause some irritation issues.
Right.
I was nervous. It took longer for that little one to heal than this huge one that I have on another part of my body, and I was worried. But don't cry for me. If it would have got badly infected and I had to go to the hospital or something, there's no GoFundMe for that.
No,
I don't want help. I don't want help.
And I mean, there's specific instructions on how to take care of this stuff. There are specific instructions, and I've been good with all of mine. I've got one that did leak color, but that's because the gentleman who did that tattoo did not do it properly.
Yeah.
And but I've gotten so many since then. And it all depends on what part of your body. I mean, you're supposed to stay out of direct water. You're supposed to stay out of the sunlight. Those are two big things. You're supposed to keep it clean, keep it lubricated, certain stages of tattoo. And if you don't follow those rules, I mean, your tattoos are going to look like crap and you're going to get infected. And, I've always been, if I spent the money to get this tattoo, I'm going to follow the rules.
Absolutely.
And shame on you if your stuff gets infected. It's because you didn't follow what you're supposed to do.
Well, yeah. And if they're a good artist that you go to, they're going to give you printed out or very specific, very easy to follow instructions on how to take care of it. And sometimes you can take care of it the best you can, and things can still have problems.
Yeah, I mean, because you're still you're putting
it's
a
an
foreign,
unnatural
yes,
process being performed to your body.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and the body doesn't like that. Let's go as simple as this. And this wasn't for body modification or anything for me. Speaking of eyeballs, I have big googly eyeballs, and things get into them, and I have problems, and they get scratched. And my boy scratched my middle child 2 years in a row. Scratched my cornea, same spot on my cornea, same eye, almost a year apart to the date. I've had issues with that eye. Like sometimes what will happen is once you sustain an eye injury, especially in that area, it never fully heals. It will never completely heal. And you'll have issues down the line, possibly with vision. Like with me, I should have 20/20 vision right now. My vision's slightly bad in my left eye because I sustained that injury twice to my cornea and it's weakened it. And there's a point behind this. Sometimes what will happen, it's happened to me several times already, is that area that was injured tends to dry out. And when it dries out, if it's when I'm sleeping at night, and it'll dry out and stick to the inside of my eyelid. And then when I open my eyelid first thing in the morning, not thinking it's dry and stuck to my eyelid, I tear my cornea again.
Okay.
So it's like that brand new injury all over again happening.
Do you put drops at night?
I try to. I'm not real good with it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I make mistakes. I should put it in every night, you can get gels and stuff.
Yeah, there's a gel because you lose layers of your eyes. It peels.
Yeah.
And that's why your eyes water and stuff. And I have an issue with my one eye.
Drying out.
Yeah. So I use a gel.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me, if it sticks and rips, it's debilitating because that one eye wants to close because the other's eye's closed, so you can't really drive, and it's light sensitive. If you can get them both open, it's a hot mess. And this ties into foreign bodies and things. There's a point behind this. Lo and behold, who would have known? I was the girl that always wanted the colored eye contacts in my eyes.
Oh, really?
I always wanted purple eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always did. I've got green eyes, but I wanted them to be purple, and I just thought purple eyes are beautiful. When I had contacts put in, what they did for me for the first two injuries I had probably now it's close to 12 to 15 years ago, they put contacts in so that would put a barrier between the healing eyeball and the inside of the eyelid.
Yeah.
And it worked well. I had no issues, and it healed quicker, and the recovery time was certainly, it was a lot less painful and easier and faster, as I said. It tore over the course of the past year or two. It ripped again open. Okay. And they went to put a contact in my eye. Mm-hmm. My eye rejected the contact and made the swelling and the redness and the problem with it worse. So not only do I have a torn cornea, but the whole eye became irritated and infected because of it. So they're like, oh, well, that's just our standard contact. Let's try a new form of contact where it's like a breathable. They put the breathable in. It was just as bad. I wanted to get a spoon and poke that eyeball out. That's how terrible it was. But my point being made is sometimes the body doesn't accept certain things. Right. I now know I can't ever wear contacts. Ever in my life, I will not be able to wear a contact, even if I wanted to. Yeah. And my eyes do not accept them. They irritate them. It accepts it as a foreign body, it rejects it as a foreign body, and it won't take it. Yeah. Who knew? In body modification, you're into it when you find out. Like there's, I can pull contact out and I'm okay, but with body modification.
No, yeah. That's not,
it's not going to work that way. Nope. If you get your eyeball tattooed and it goes bad and it goes awry, guess what?
Bad idea.
I'm a modern girl in a modern world. I'm into different forms of body modification. I'm okay with some things on certain people, and to each their own. I'm a pretty open-minded person. I don't have a problem with a lot of stuff. I don't like the look of the colored eyeballs.
No.
And I just think compared to your standard inking, that's an area that's real.
Shouldn't.
If you value something a lot, maybe you don't want to get it tattooed, I don't think. Like your sight, that's kind of a...
Yeah, I just think that's not something you should mess with.
I don't think so. And the eyeballs are just doesn't seem like
Those
a real
are pretty
practical
delicate pieces of...
skin, or whatever, muscle or cartilage, whatever they are. Yeah, I get real nervous about
goo.
Yeah, they're like squishy, like peeled grapes or something. But to each their own. And there's all different kinds, and you just take what comes with it. I've had, like I said, tattoos. I've had big ones that healed quick and they were great, and then I had that little one that just was a booger to try to get healed. And that's the same reason too. You'll find me more times than most without putting earrings in my ears.
Really?
Yeah, I have a real major problem with sensitivity to my ears, and I love the look of pierced ears. I'd probably have them pierced 2 or 3 times if they would have went well the first times I had them done. They just don't they don't handle earrings in them.
I know my sister, I have to do, all nickel free, which pretty much, I mean, they make a lot of the stuff nickel free.
Yeah.
But my sister, she can't use any fake. Like, it's got to be like 24 karat gold.
Yeah.
Like, her ears get really infected.
They get horrible. Like you can barely touch them, and they'll have some oozing issues and stuff like that. Like they swell, and they turn purplish
and that's painful.
color.
Like that's irritating and painful. So
Line me up any day of the week. I love your nose piercing that you have. I've always wanted a nose piercing. I don't want like the big rings or anything like that. I just want a little speck where like if I turn my head the right way, you can see that little shine on my nose. I want that desperately. But if my nose reacts the same way as my ears, I don't want to even go through that process.
Okay, like even like I don't have a sense, other than the nickel, and obviously, the nose, those are usually, nickel free or sterling or whatever the heck they are, but they're not just the normal, plated or whatever earrings. But I had a bump that I got on the one side of where the piercing is, and it was really gross. I don't know what. So I looked it up, and apparently it's fairly common, but it happened because after I got the piercing, I had bumped my nose 1 or 2 times, and it just kind of it was like a wound, so to speak, but it finally just went away. But it looked like it was like a pimple or something there, but it wasn't. It was just a kind of a solid mass. But I had used like a compress and stuff. But I mean, with all this stuff, you have to be so careful. You're doing something foreign to your body, something that's basically unnatural.
It is. I mean, again, I enjoy it. I'll get more done. I would definitely get more tattoos done. I'll get more piercings and things like that. But my biggest, I mean, it comes with the territory. If you're going to get stuff like that done, there might be different recovery times. You might have different issues. And I mean, this is a body modification day here. It's different from our normal Wednesdays, and I apologize once our other member is able to get with us here. Thursdays, Fridays, he'll be with us. Today's just a different situation, but I never realized that there are so many different forms of body modification that there are. I mean, you've got the eyeball tattooing. I've learned about the gauging. Of course, a lot of people have their ears gauged.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that one. Like, because I wear the earrings that I wear, they look like they're gauges, but they're just fake. They're like actual earrings with a regular post through the middle, and they just connect. Those don't go back. Like the big ones.
You have to get them cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to pay for the surgery to get them corrected. And I don't know. I don't want to sound like the old fart here. Maybe if I was in my late teens or early 20s, maybe that would be something that would intrigue me, because that seems to be the trend. Like the younger people are getting their selves gauged and whatnot. I don't mind. I don't mind seeing them. Like, I don't really get bothered or offended by pretty much anything that I see.
Yeah, no.
It just wouldn't be a personal choice, but some of them get so big, like...
Oh my gosh, I know. They're huge.
Yeah, and I've actually worked with a person that had a friend who had a gauge so big that they stretched it so much that the ear couldn't take it anymore, and it tore.
Did it? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's probably not pretty, and most people don't have like a lot of money to get that surgically done, because I'm sure that's not cheap.
It can't be
cheap. And
cheap.
it's not like your insurance is going to cover it.
Well, heck no. That's like a form of plastic surgery you're getting done at that point.
So I look up, gauges and piercings, and there's this dude with an actual Oreo cookie in his ear.
Nice.
That's nice.
You just pack your snacks. That's nice. Close to my mouth. Maybe if I sucked in real hard, I could just blow it from my ear into my mouth.
Ma, I don't have a Ziploc bag. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna put my Oreo cookies?
A little light, ding, like a light bulb dings above their head. I'll just stick it in my ear. So there's gauging. One trend. Speaking of young people and some of their body modifications that they choose to get done overseas. Like, I don't know if it's a Chinese thing or Japanese thing But in one of those countries, they've been sporting what's called bagel heads. Have you ever heard of the bagel heads? Like bagel, like it looks like a bagel.
No, I just looked it up. What the?
Yeah, for real. Bagel heads are a real thing. For those of you who are not aware of what bagel heads are,
I don't understand.
They put in the forehead saline, and they blow up a big ball in the front of your on your forehead.
Yeah, like when you hit your head when you're little and you got an egg on your head. Yeah,
a goose egg. Yeah, it's an oversized goose egg. But part of the process is they blow this up, and then they kind of put their thumb or something like that down the middle of it, and it forms the shape after they push it down of a bagel. And I guess it's a hot trend that they are doing.
Yeah, it says bagel head is the type of body modification pioneered in Canada and practiced in the Japanese underground scene.
Okay.
It's only a temporary 6 to 24 hour swelling distortion.
Yep.
Of the forehead created by a saline drip and often shaped to resemble a bagel or a donut. In 2012, after appearing on National Geographic TV special, this practice became the subject of why do I get these words that I can't say? Sensationalism.
Sensationalism, yeah.
As news outlets worldwide misleadingly declared it a Japan trend, because it actually was pioneered in Canada.
I believed it was a Japan trend, because that's what the video footage that I seen of it, it was in Japan. I didn't know it was a Canadian thing. Why am I not shocked?
Where do you think? What's the bagel donut place the Canadians? Tom
Horton.
Tom Horton.
They love
of course, it came from Canada.
They love it so much that they wear it on their heads. But so the bagel heads, that's a unique one. The eyeball tattooing, I guess, has been a thing that they've just been doing over the past couple years now. I guess that's been really, really big. I've seen everything from that to I've seen shows. I love taboo shows. If you ever want to get me really excited about talking about a certain, like Nancy, if you could pick a topic and roll about it, like anything taboo works for me. I love the taboo shows. So that's where I was watching a lot about the eyeball tattooing. I've seen the people that have gotten like the split tongues.
See, that's just crazy. Like and I'm not a prude or anything by any means. Like I'm weird, but
I can't make that commitment.
Because that's your tongue. It's not like you're.
Yeah, I want to keep my tongue, like, I want to make sure, like, yeah.
Holy crap, I bite my tongue and, like, I want to cry.
I know, I can't imagine getting it split.
No, like,
and then they
piercing.
do that twisty-turny thing where, like, they stick it out and they, like, cross
not
it
that
together.
It doesn't fascinate me, but that's just not something I would choose for myself.
Oh, no, proceed. I like to look at it. That's pretty good to look at. I don't want to take that kind of gamble with my body or important parts of my body. Like, some people would look at us and probably say, well, why do you have tattoos if, maybe 20 or 30 years from now you'd reconsider them? Well, yeah, that's true, but
and like even for the process for the splitting of the tongue, like they can either cut it with a scalpel.
Yeah.
Come on, I don't even like paper cuts. Cauterizing and tying off.
Oh.
Like I guess it's normally done by oral surgeons or body, I guess that's not true, or body modification practitioners, or done oneself. Yeah, that's not something I would ever do myself. Only because I would think, I'd
be concerned about the recovery time.
Yes.
And you have to eat. You still have to eat. So I don't know if they're running a straw past the tongue straight back into the throat.
Hey, you want to lose 20 pounds?
Get your tongue hacked in half.
Disgusting.
Well, they do the same thing. This is going to be really gross to talk about. But they do the same thing. They do tongue splitting and then they do penis splittings.
Oh. Well, to go back to the tongue, they said it generally heals in 1 to 2 weeks. It's actually pretty fast.
That's not bad for what it's done, but I still don't want to take that chance.
No.
I'm not gonna wait 2 weeks before I eat some yummy stuff. Like I'll probably end up getting like pieces of something stuck in between there, and I have to
I got my wisdom teeth out, and I think I ate the same day. There's not too much that's gonna stop me. No, but my tonsils. That was the worst, and that was just this year. When you're older than 10 years old, do not get your tonsils taken out.
I heard it's horrible.
It is one of the worst. I would rather have 10 C-sections than get my tonsils taken out again.
I know you were put down for a while with that.
2 weeks. I was off of work.
I can't believe it for tonsils.
I laugh about myself being, the bride of Frankenstein because I've had so many surgeries. So maybe that's why, like, this stuff, it looks cool, but there's no way.
I can't mess with certain things.
No.
People get piercings down on their private parts and stuff like that. I could never. I'm not gambling with that.
No.
I appreciate that way too much in my body down there, way too much to gamble with it. And don't get me wrong. I've seen some piercings and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's all right. But I just leave it for yourself. I'm not going there.
Yeah, Google that once.
Oh, I've seen some lovely. Yeah.
Yowza.
And we were talking about the tongue splitting. I'm telling you. You're going to learn so much on this show if you don't know much about body modification, but they do the penis splitting. The guys will choose to get it split down the middle. Almost, Sam and I were talking about this with Tegan the other day, and he said it almost looks like when you cut a hot dog and throw it on the frying pan and it starts to curl and split. That's kind of what it looks like.
Oh my.
I look at it and I'm a woman and I cringe seeing it, and it makes me real nervous. There's parts I'm not going to gamble with.
Can you imagine, like, somebody that looks like, hey, he's pretty hot, and then you guys get to the point where you're going to sleep together, and like all of a sudden you've got this thing coming at you.
He unleashes the two-headed monster. The sea creature, the beast.
I would probably have such a look on my face that
I don't know what to do with that. How do I work with this? Do I like make it one again and like I don't understand how to navigate this. Can you help me? I don't know. Like one's looking at me, the other one's looking the other way. I don't know if it's like people with the eyes that go both ways. I don't know what to do with this.
I would definitely need instruction on that.
Oh, I'd need that, and I'd need a barf bag. I think I'd need them both. I couldn't just have the one. I would need that and a barf bag both to make that work.
Yes.
Hey, but some people were into it. There's a person out there for everybody.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I mean, they could meet that guy and him pull down his pants and it's like the Holy Grail and like the angels choirs in the background singing. For me, I would open it up and all I'd hear in the background is like the high pitch, like the scream from the old horror movies.
Yeah, I mean, they say that the early records of the genital piercings were found obviously in the Kama Sutra.
Sure.
Which was written over 2,000 years ago, so.
Oh, yeah. And then here's another thing, too, that we're doing in modern society, but it's been done for generations upon generations, I'm sure, too, is, and I've watched shows on this, and this terrifies the crap out of me, the body scarring, the scarification process. That is intense. I watched a show where a guy wanted his arm, the scarification done to his arm. And I mean, they do what they do with animals. Like it's a branding. They brand your arm to leave that scar there. So you are getting branded. That's what scarification is. It's a branding. It
involves scratching, etching, burning, branding, or superficially cutting designs and pictures.
Yep, I saw the guy that got the branding done to his arm, and it's burnt. It's intense. It's so super intense heat. It's almost like. That's not almost like, it's exactly what it is. I don't know if you remember the episode of Jackass where Bam Margera got branded by Ryan Dunn.
On his butt?
On his butt.
Yes, no, I did see that.
And it gets black and it gets all crispy looking.
Yeah.
And now he'll have that for the rest of his life, those scars. This is what some people choose to do. First off, I can't imagine the smell. I don't work well with smells. Mm-mm. So to be burnt and literally charred, these pieces, first off, your risk for infection. Yeah. I mean, like any burn victim.
That's hideous.
This is a burn victim. Like this is burn unit stuff. This is beyond burn unit because this isn't blisters anymore. Like this is like brown, black, charred skin. The healing process, you have to be so careful with that because your risk for infection within the first couple days is so high. Like, you could get this done. Like this guy that had it done to his arm, he could have lost his arm over that had it not healed properly. I mean, he could have died over it if it got infected and it spread. I mean, that's some serious business. And but the funny thing is now I've seen the cutting scarification as well too on a taboo show, but it was a taboo show based on tribes and tribal things.
Right. Yeah, and that's what the Wikipedia on scarring. I mean, it goes back to that because that's kind of where it started. And it actually says that with the tribes, scarification is usually more visible on darker skinned people.
Absolutely, it is.
So that's why they used it.
I think this is. I don't think they're called the alligator. I think it's called crocodile. But there's a tribe that, as they complete certain feats and certain tasks, or they become certain ages, or they something like that. Like it's a rite of passage.
It's like a ritual.
Right. They'll get that, and they eventually, their skin will look like a crocodile's skin with the scars that will be done to them. Yeah. But they're pretty neat to look at. If you type that in, I mean, they're interesting to look at. It's certainly, I'd say, none of it's safe, but I'd say as far as compared to that versus burning, I think I would probably take a knife scarification any day over that. But for them, it's just a sign of power and strength and and being a warrior within their tribe and things like that. And that we can talk about tribal stuff all night long too, because you have that one tribe as well too, where it's found as a sign of beauty and it's a sign of attraction to put those rings around your neck and have
like the
real,
stretching.
the neck
really
stretching.
long necks. Growing up, my parents had a subscription to National Geographic. So I mean, that was always interesting, and that's where I had seen that the first time.
Yeah,
was in that movie, or that catalog.
And it's so crazy because it gets so high. Like they start getting serious giraffe necks from it and things. But that's a sign right there of beauty, extreme beauty in their culture. And I mean, the tides are changing. People are finding different things beautiful, and it's so funny that we're still having some businesses and some professions having major issues with tattoos and things like that. It's just really weird to me because in this day and age, I'm not saying the minority doesn't have any tattoos, but we're certainly balancing out the scales as far as
I agree.
Piercings or tattoos and stuff like that are concerned. And don't get me wrong, I'm still old school, and now I'll probably get frowned upon from the younger people listening to this. I don't think we need to advertise everything that we have. I don't think, I think there's a time and a place to let your tattoos stick out and stuff like that.
I think so.
I think so. I don't think you need to wear like the halter top to work just so you show everybody everything tattooed or whatever.
No. I think like if you have depending on what kind of job you have, obviously it depends on what you wear. But I mean, since I've started to get tattoos, because my first tattoo I got when I was 17 years old, it's a Grateful Dead bear on my ankle, which honestly enough, when I was 17 years old, I was not a pothead. Like I enjoyed the music. It wasn't like
that wasn't until later.
That wasn't until later. That wasn't the lifestyle. I just really loved. Like, I'm kind of an artsy-fartsy love color, but I really loved the bears. Like, I loved that.
Oh, they're super cute.
The stickers, the shirts, all of it.
Who doesn't like rainbow? I mean, I like the rainbow colors and stuff. I'm not a big deadheaded, but I like the graphics that they use, and I like shirt designs and the tie-dye.
Like, I collected all those bumper stickers, and I still have them, and I used to have a ton of T-shirts, but I wore those out.
Yeah.
But I loved that. And my mom, I was only 17 and my mom signed off on it because she thought, I could be doing a lot worse things with my life. But I was one of in my circle of friends, I was the first, I think, to get a tattoo. And it's been that way ever since. It's kind of an addiction.
It is. Once you get one, you want more done for the most part. Yeah. I got mine at a pretty. It wasn't as early as you. I saved sex for that. I wanted to beat you in that one, I guess, supposedly. But for tattooing, I think I want to say, I might have been 21, I think, when I got my first one. But it was funny. I got mine paid for because I had a friend call me and go, Nancy. I'm like, yeah, what's up? You sound like excited. She's like, I want a tattoo. I'm like, well, great, have at it, go get a tattoo. Well, but I'm not sure if I want it yet. I'm like, okay, so you're calling me to tell me that you want to get a tattoo done, but you're not sure. I'm sure you're calling me because how does this involve me?
Right.
She's like, oh yeah, it involves you because didn't you say at one time you wanted to get a tattoo? I said, I've always thought about it. She's like, good, I'll pay for yours. I'm like, why? What's the catch? She's like, well, the catch is you're getting yours first. I said, so you may not get one. She's like, oh yeah, I might not get one. She's like, I want one really, really, really bad, but so you want me to be the guinea pig? You'll see how it goes. And that's how it worked. And my first tattoo, I definitely regret. I do regret it. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I was at the tattoo shop, and I was a big fan of theatrical arts. I was always one of the lead roles in any of the plays that we had at the schools, and I just love comedy and tragedy. I love the look of comedy and tragedy. And here I am at the tattoo place at around 21 years of age, looking at the wall, and I found a comedy and tragedy tattoo. I walked out with a tiger with alien eyes.
What went wrong there?
What did go wrong? I don't know to this day. I have a problem. Here's my problem. And this even, I wish Sam was here for this conversation. This even happens at restaurants and stuff. Like, I'll go into a restaurant going, okay, it's a steak night. I'm getting steak. It's a steak night. Sam, it's a steak night. Don't worry about it. No, I'm not going to take her. No, it's a steak night.
And you get mac and cheese, huh?
And the next thing you know, they come in and I'm ordering, like Jell-O or chicken or something. And I'm shocked when the words are coming out of my mouth. And Sam's like, well, that's a far cry from steak, isn't it? I'm like, I know. I don't know what the heck happened there. Well, funny. It must be a trend that I've had since I was in my early 20s because I saw that comedy and tragedy and I'm like, I could live with that on my body for the rest of my days. face. And I'm telling you, even to this day, if I would have got that tattoo, I would have been okay with it for the rest of my life. I'd be fine. Freaking tiger. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. It's on my upper leg. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. It doesn't even have a pupil.
I'm not even sure if I've seen that.
You don't want to see it. It's not. It's not pretty. It's this little tiny. It's a tiger cub, and he has green, but no like black. He has no pupils. He just has green eyes. They're big green eyes, and it'd probably be attractive if he had a pupil in it. Maybe But if I were to get one covered up, that would be the one I'd get covered up.
Yeah, and cover ups aren't easy. Like you have to get a specific. Like it's not anything you want. It has to be a lot of lines and a lot of ink and. Obviously bigger than the one that was there. And
you better not go to some backdoor...
Oh, no.
Backdoor tattoo parlor for something like that. Because, I always love... we were just talking about this on our other program. Things on Facebook that we love or social media that we love. I love the fails. The tattoo fails.
I feel bad.
Oh, they're so bad.
They are so bad. I've only got one that's kind of really... Well, no, I have two that I would... cover up. The one on my tramp stamp.
You got a tramp stamp?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Oh. I used to be a lot skinnier when I was younger. Oh. And I used to wear, half shirts and stuff. And, this one, the original picture that I chose, I asked him to modify it to make... It's a sun that goes across my lower back. Oh, and boy. I asked him to make the face angry. Oh, I have a special sun back there. Let me tell you. So from day one, even, when my backside area was a lot smaller, it wasn't good. So that's one I would definitely get rid of. And the one that all the ink popped out of on my wrist, that one's pretty bad. The lines are pretty bad.
For those of you that have never had a tattoo but have thought about it, if the thought has swirled around your mind, hey, I might want ink on my body, please do me a tremendous favor, please, and don't follow any trends that are happening right now. No. You're going to end up with a barbed wire around your arm.
I can't even. That's
or a
terrible.
Tribal tattoo on your lower back.
Too. So bad.
You're going to end up with some stuff where you go, that was fun at the time I got it. There's a great story attached to it. And that's the one thing, even with the tattoo that I'm not crazy about, my very first one.
There's a good story.
There's still a story attached to it. There's still a memory attached to it, and I love to tell stories. And so I won't take that day back by any means. And it's funny because I actually went with her and another friend. They both split the cost for my tattoo because they were both terrified and they knew I would go do it because I was fearless and would do anything. They both ended up walking out with one. One got a bunny rabbit, and I can't remember what the other one got. But, would I choose it now? No, never. Never in a million years would I choose to get. What would a tiger... I can't even lie and come up with a story of what a tiger would represent for me on my body. I can't. But... just think about those things before you go and get the ink done.
Yeah, and always research your tattoo artists. I've got a fantastic one that I go to all the time, and he's a good guy, and he's got a great clean shop, and I will recommend him to anybody. He does fantastic work, and he's local. But, with my tattoos, they've all they're placeholders, periods of time in my life. I don't go to a therapist, I go to a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my, you're still alive tattoo. You have gone through this crap and you got through it. And everybody, I hate the question, does it hurt? Well, yeah, it hurts.
Of course it hurts.
It doesn't matter where you get it put on your body. It may hurt less, but it still hurts. I think my worst ones, my inner arm was pretty rough. The two on my feet, thank goodness they're small because I hated those because I couldn't sit still, and I have restless leg syndrome.
Yeah. So
me sitting for a long period of time wouldn't have happened. But I'm telling you, my last one that I got, which don't judge because I freaking love it, is the Incredible Hulk on my forearm, and it got close to my elbow. I about went through the roof. I was like, Frank, this really is starting to hurt. So thank goodness they've come up with this numbing stuff that they can put on your skin.
Really?
Because I don't know if I would have sat through it.
Nah. Oh, I don't know, Tegan. I think you copped out. I think Poser. I think you
Well,
posed
he
out.
got most of it done, but it was when he was getting up, like...
No, you gotta. But see, I'm old school about a lot of different things. You know, you're talking about riding through pain and stuff. You know, but this has to do again with another terrible philosophy that was instilled with me growing up. Okay, here's another one growing
Well,
up.
this is my 22nd tattoo, and I've never had that done before.
You never bitched out before?
No! Not even the huge freaking moth on the inside of my arm.
You totes bitched out on
Yeah,
that
I
one.
totally bitched
did.
out on that
You
one
did.
because it was
You
freaking
did.
hurt.
Well, you know, you just gotta ride through the pain.
Like literally, I felt it grinding my teeth. Like the needles, I felt like they were.
But it looks
literally-
good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It looks good.
It is a fantastic tattoo.
I'll tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. Growing up, my mother, when I was pregnant and when she was pregnant, we never had epidurals done because
Really?
we were afraid of, you know, it was instilled in me that you could
Lose your-
you'd be paralyzed,
Right.
be paraplegic or something. So I always rode through the pain for the most part, you know, with very minimal, if any drugs. So I had to give you a hard time about that because, you know, getting a tattoo, you're birthing something on your body. It's, you know, you're putting something on there it's your creation, it's your baby on your body. So I had to give you a hard time.
This
about
baby needed an epidural.
it. you epidural your arm.
Epiduraled my arm.
All right. He used to say, you know, if I would ever have
But it was
another
towards
child.
the end. Like he was pretty much 3/4 of the way done.
It's tough. For me, I think the beginning's harder than the ending, though, for larger tattoos. Now, I didn't have a location where you had, but I had a tattoo put on my back that took close to 4 hours to get done. It was a big one. And the guy was like, do you want us to do this in a couple sessions? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sitting here until that last drop of ink is placed on that body. He's like, you're going to ride this out. He's like, well, I'm going to have to take a break. I'm like, make them quick.
Yeah.
Please make them quick because I want it done. I rip the Band-Aid quick. I don't slowly peel it. Like, if we're
Yeah.
going to do this, we're going to get this done.
Right.
So I rode for the bulk of the time, 4 hours straight, getting this tattoo done. But I come to find after the skin gets so irritated after a while from the process that, from the tattooing, that, I mean, it all just starts to kind of mesh into each other.
Yeah.
How about for you, shading or outline? What do you hate the most? Which one's the most painful for you?
The outline's the worst.
I hate the outline.
Yeah, the outline sucks.
Hate the outline. It's the worst thing ever.
Like after a while, your skin does just kind of get numb, and like the best feeling is in the world is when they put some more stuff on it and they wipe it.
Oh, I like
It's like that cool. It's like I don't know, stepping into a freezer.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's
nice.
nice.
It's funny because a lot of people go, Nancy, I'm more terrified of piercings than I am tattoos.
Really?
I'm terrified of them.
Yeah.
And it's just because of what happened with my ears. I think I would have
Yeah.
delved into other things. But for me, you know, for other people to get piercings done, the pain was quick. And then they have the product to show for it later, and it's fine. My problem is I didn't think the pain was that bad getting the initial piercing or whatever done, you know, even for my ears or whatever. But then because it didn't, my body didn't accept it,
Yeah.
that I didn't have anything to show for it. I had to keep taking the earrings out, so I had no product
Yeah.
to show for what I had done.
That stinks.
Tattoos for me are different. People are like, how could you handle that? Well, yeah, you already in your mind know when you get that done that you're going to take a period of time. It's going to have to take a period of time to heal.
Right.
It forms scabs, and scabs have to heal, and they have to go away. But then it's a lasting product that I don't have to worry about anymore. You
Yes.
know, unless you're one of the weird eyeball people or something like that have something
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can deal with that and relate with that. Now, one thing that we haven't talked about as far as body modification, which there's a lot of things we haven't talked about, but I always thought these were unique to see too. The dermals that people get, like the horns put in on their
Yeah.
skin, or they get like the little balls put underneath their layer of skin there to make it look like they're demons or dragons or lizards or whatever. I haven't seen any place yet where I was really digging on
Yeah, no. Like, and I often wonder, like, what, you know, this stuff costs money, but where do these people work? Or maybe they just don't work. I don't know. And I'm not being negative or judgmental. Because that's not something you can hide.
No.
Like, at all.
How do you walk into a job interview with horns? All
I
right,
mean,
so tell
unless
me-
you have your own business. I mean, that's
different.
Yeah, that's completely
different.
different.
But that goes along with tattooing. This is not just dermal people. I'm not, like I said, I'm an equal opportunity hater about some things, but that goes with certain tattoos. Like, say you walk in or with a dermal of horns, or say you walk in to a place of business
With a split tongue.
The split tongue, or you walk into a place of business with like a devil riding across with flames, and the flames are in the shape of skulls. How do you sell yourself with that to be able to get that job? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Or like the FU tattoo, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, with Satan with the middle finger up with an FU tattoo, you know? How do you
or the
explain
face
that?
tattoos. Like, I don't...
Yeah, or the face tattoos with like regrets, but it's spelled wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's painful. I love the tattoo memes that
they're so
that are
funny.
spelled wrong. That's fantastic.
They are so funny. How do you explain that? All right, so like a lady with a no regrets tattoo instead of regrets tattooed on her face, or some of the words jumbled up wrong on their face, spelling errors. They go in for an office job and they're like, okay, so tell us what your strengths are. Well, my strengths are Microsoft Office and blah 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 blah. Oh, thank God for spell check. Like that. I don't have to worry about that. That'll be all right. You're checked on that. I'm really a very positive person with the FU tattoo on there. I'm real happy. Customer service. I love working with other people with an FU tattoo.
I'm a good Christian that loves people, and yeah.
Yeah. How do you explain that?
Your Satan tattoo says.
I think some of the people that get the extreme stuff done I do think that probably their professions, like if they work, like in. I think there's certain professions where it's okay. Like I think if it's guys that get it done and they work as mechanics or motorcycle
even like
dudes,
I see a lot of chefs with tattoos and stuff too. Because they're behind the scenes.
They're behind the scenes. That's not a big deal. It's interesting though to see what's out there, and then we can touch base here. I guess the last part of our show about plastic surgery and body modifications. I think there's nothing wrong with a person wanting to get some stuff done with themselves to make themselves feel better. But sometimes I just think, like our conversation the other day with like the woman that wanted to become a totally other person. Like you hate yourself that bad that you want to become a totally other person. Like I don't know. I just think for certain types of things, maybe some people need to have maybe like a opening interview about it.
Yes, absolutely.
To make sure that they're okay with it.
And like most of the stuff that we see that comes across, magazines, social media, whatever, TV, like the people that get all this surgery done, it looks awful.
It does, but they don't look right. Like I'm not talking like they don't look right. Like they clearly don't look right for some of the processes.
It's so unnatural.
It is, but you look at them, there's still something off about them. Like people like you and me don't get stuff like that done.
No.
And if we did, we could still pull it off like champs. If we did, because we still have. Like I don't think we have the serious. I think for some of the things, like the woman that wanted to become a black woman. I think for the people that want to be dragons and the people that want to be dinosaurs and the people that want to be things like that, I think that there should be some sort of psychiatric evaluation attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with that being said, there is a gentleman, I love him. Oh, I love him. He, at one point, I think made the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most tattoos on his body. He is like the leopard guy or something like that. He's like the leopard guy, the cheetah guy. He's a foreign dude.
Yes.
He's a foreign dude that he has a bunch of tattoos all over his body to make him look like a cheetah or a leopard or something like that. But when they interviewed him, like this dude's got himself together, I think.
Yeah.
Like I when he spoke, he seemed very calm and very very rational and very sane. And just like that other chick, I think that she's put together pretty well too, believe it or not. And she's super, super extreme. She was on Ripley's Believe It or Not and some taboo shows and stuff. Oh yeah, you brought up a picture of him, Tom Leopard.
He was actually an English-born soldier, previously considered by Guinness World Records to be the most tattooed man.
Great interview.
He passed away in June of 2016.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
At 80.
Oh.
But he had 30 years of service in the armed forces.
He spoke well. He was a good interview.
Doesn't really say what he did.
Then there was that chick that I think she was going to be a lawyer. She still is a lawyer or whatever. I think she's from the South. And I'm not talking like Southern United States. Like I'm talking like South, like Mexico or Brazil or something. She's from one of those places. And she got everything done. I don't know what she's trying to shoot to look like though. I don't know if she's trying to look like a vampire because all her teeth are pointed. But she has dermals all through her head. she's got her face all tattooed, all different colors. But she's weird too, because when you hear her speak, like, she's another one that's super, super intelligent. And but she's crazy. Her hair's all jacked up, and like she's got all sorts of oh, there she is. There she is. Yeah.
Oh,
she's pretty fantastic.
She's Mexican.
Oh, I thought she was Mexican. I thought she was Mexican or Cuban or Brazilian.
Oh my goodness.
She's extreme, yeah. She's got real long, pointy fingernails, and she's got like dermals in her head and piercings all over the place and stuff. And it's funny because she's one you look at and you'd be intimidated by her, but once she opens her mouth and starts talking,
she's got titanium horns, fangs, and she's got amazing tattoos.
and she's got a ton of them.
And they're actually, the waxworks, they made a waxworks of her, which will be featured at Ripley's Believe It or Not. That's
Absolutely.
pretty cool.
They should. She's as neat as all heck, and I wish I had the information up right now to back it up. But I think she went to college to become an attorney, and then
she's got these crazy long dreads too.
Yeah, she's unique to look at. I dig her. She's cool. I like that show too with unique people on it. Freak Show. I like that. Some of the people had some interesting body modifications and stuff like that done on that show.
She actually turned to body art after suffering years of domestic abuse by her ex-husband.
Yeah, she did. But she was super professional, like, looking before that. I still think it was a lawyer. I think she wanted to be a lawyer. She was a lawyer, or something legally involved. There's people like that are the exceptions and stuff like that. And I'm not talking for people that just get a gauge put in their ear. I'm not talking to people that just get their tongue split. I'm talking to people that get like the full body transformation into something or someone else. I really think that there should probably be maybe a consultation or two before this happens.
Yes.
Not just about the procedure, but just about where you are in your life and your frame of mind.
I think so.
Like this lady here that got all those body modifications done now that she's made the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. Maybe, if things had gone differently in her life, or maybe if she had the right people to talk to, the right outlet, or the right resources, she wouldn't have inflicted that much, because that's pain too. So she went through a lot of physical pain, and maybe she's masking some of the emotional pain she's going through with that outlet of the physical pain.
Right. Yeah, she was a Mexican lawyer.
I thought so. She was super cool. So I just worry about these people that get really severe things done to them.
Yeah, I mean she
has those contacts in her eyes, fangs.
Her teeth are
pointed.
Insane.
Yeah, they're like a cat's, like a cat's teeth or tiger's teeth or something. But it's funny, I'm telling you. What's her name? Maria Cristerna, the Mexican VJ, vampire in Vienna, Austria. Look her up if you.
Yeah, she's pretty cool to look at.
Do a YouTube search on her and actually watch some videos on her. Listen to her talk, and you go to yourself, how do you get to this point? You were a lawyer at one point in your life. Yeah. I guarantee you, they have a picture of her before and after. And her before picture, she wasn't an unattractive woman by any means. Pretty. She was really pretty, and she got this all done after years of abuse. I don't know. I'm like these people getting the plastic surgeries done. The Ken and Barbie dolls and the tan moms.
Yeah, the boobs and the...
do you need that kind of attention,
But, clearly they do, though. Like, I think that's what it's about for them.
Do you hate who you are so bad that you have to choose to become somebody else? And if that's the case, then I don't think there'd be enough money and enough surgeries in the world to fix something like that.
No, there's not, because they continue to get stuff done.
It's almost the same process. It is. It's almost the same thing. So I'm not picking on anybody that has body modifications or plastic surgery, extreme done. Let's talk another form of extreme change. It's the same deal for the people that weigh 500 and 600 and 700 and 800 pounds, and they lose all that weight and they get down to 120, 125 pounds, but that's still not good for them, or still not good enough for them. They're still a fat person trapped inside of a skinny person's body.
Yes, and that's who they see every day they look in the mirror.
When you're 500 and 600 pounds, you're eating because you have some sort of emotional baggage attached to you. that the only outlet that you feel that you can use to relieve some of that aggression that you have or sadness or whatever it is that outlet. So when you get that gastric bypass surgery done, or if you do that, like that one show they do it the hard way, like the really, really hard way, and they like are out running miles upon miles and things like that. I don't know what that show's called right now.
Biggest Loser?
That one
Like
too. That one too,
that's
yeah. It's like the
insane.
Biggest Loser type of show.
But you've and like recently you've seen a lot of those people come back out. They've gained a lot of their weight back.
Because they haven't dealt with the issues.
Yep.
They haven't dealt with the issues.
No, there's a reason. Like a lot of the things that we've talked about.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's mental anguish.
It's
that
mental
you need to
anguish.
fix that before, I can lose 100 pounds, but if it's not about the food itself,
Do
it's
you
about the
need
mental.
to lose the 100 pounds, or do you need to remove the baggage internally that you have,
Right.
like the mental? Do you need
Yeah.
Is it 100 pounds of fat that you need to lose first, or is it 100 pounds of emotional baggage that you need to kick to the wayside?
And I'd guess that 8 out of 10 times it's the emotional baggage.
Absolutely, and I think the rest would follow with that afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about, trying to form new healthy lifestyle, new healthy habits. But if you're emotionally not healthy, how are you supposed to get yourself where you need to be physically? Because half the time, if anybody has any medical issues or obesity or anything like that, it's attached to emotional issues that you have.
I agree. I mean, most of pardon me, jeez Louise, I
She
did
hasn't woke
not
up
take
yet.
my B12 yet today. Most of my tattoos have been emotional choices.
Sure.
Time periods in my life that something crazy was going on, so.
But there's a message and there's a symbol behind all of them. And if you use that story that you get based on that art, if you have that story and you get that art, because of the story that you have, and you use that to strengthen yourself or to maybe inspire other people who's working through it, I think that can be healing as well too, though.
I agree.
We didn't have our trio today.
Or the wine.
Or the wine.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Today was a dry day.
It was a dry
That's
day.
okay.
Hopefully it wasn't a dry show for you.
Maybe we can have a Thirsty Thursday.
That's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Twist my arm.
Yep.
We'll make it a Thirsty Thursday with our third partner in crime. I feel like something's
Missing.
Missing.
I know. We're missing our...
I miss Sam's tangents
Yes.
about Jell-O pudding and Bill Cosby and
Yes.
his tangents about whatever it is that he goes on. So, but he'll be back with us again. If you're like, man, I wish that there was the three of you, don't worry about it. This was just a one-day thing. It's real life, real people, real conversations. Well,
Yes.
part of real life is sometimes we have to do adulthood,
Yes.
or adulting.
Adulting. Oh.
So,
Painful.
all right, we'll be back again, the three of us, for let's make it Thirsty Thursday. Then we'll be all back together tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. On Too Large and a Sarge.